And welcome back to the RTR Imperium Surrectum update for January 2025. Once again, with my good friend Ahowl. Welcome back, Ahowl.
Good to be back, ready to get into another update video.
Yeah, and today, but basically going through all of the stuff the mod team have been working on over Christmas into January. And first of all, obviously, you can see that we're in game. Welcome to the beta, guys, and a little Pergamon game that I have been playing myself. Really fun. And a lot of the work that we talked about last time, I've been experimenting with, playing with, and giving feedback on. So, I'm not just a pretty face and do nothing for the mod team, for all of you guys out there that think that. No, I do some stuff every now and then. So, some actual... Some actual concrete stuff every now and then. But yeah, we've been in the beta for a little bit while trying all the new features. Ahal, do you want to talk about any specific feature in general?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to give a disclaimer that, for those that might try to read into anything you may see, keep in mind this is a beta. It's a work in progress. There's a lot of stuff here that is probably going to be severely balanced by the time this is an official release. What we're seeing here is we're seeing footage from our second beta. So keep that in mind, second beta. So we've already discovered a lot of different things that we need to kind of work on, such as recruitment, economy, trade resources, buildings. There's a lot of balancing that needs to happen, but we don't know if it'll need to happen unless people like Red Zed here do the testing for us. So looks like you've had a little Pergamon campaign. We talked about like mercenary recruitment last video. We talked about new recruitment coming out, which is now you've been able to test. We've talked about new economy, new buildings, new trade resources that you've been able to play with. What's your take on some of the new things that we've been doing,
I,
just
like,
as a player?
I have really been enjoying it. Like, I've really been enjoying, especially the trade buildings, the government buildings. As you can see here, we have a homeland in Pergamon, as you might expect. But if we come down to maybe one of these other areas, I may have built a dependency. No, I built a dependency in here and it rebelled, so we can't actually see that. But you can see like direct rule in some of these places. The government system, yeah, has been really fun to play with, and the new recruitment system as well I've really enjoyed in general, which is basically all recruitment streamlined into one building. Now, of course, like Ahowl says, guys, this is all a work in progress. This all might change, but we thought it'd be a fun idea to show you guys some of this work anyway and show it in practice. And obviously a massive shout out to all the devs as usual, but of course the beta testers that have been very hard at work and providing a lot of feedback for the mod. So massive shout out to all you guys. And if you are interested in becoming a beta tester, you can do. You can find the link down below, which is still open for recruiting, I believe, Ahal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely absolutely open for recruiting. As long as we're doing beta before the official release starts getting nailed down, we will need as much beta testing as we can. Now, for those listening for the first time, or those thinking about possibly being interested in doing this, if you're going to be a beta tester, it's not just getting this game early access and playing the way you want to play it. This is about you giving feedback, about you helping out, about you testing some monotonous things, about you testing some not so monotonous things. And then there's other times where, yeah, we just want you to play the game, but we want solid feedback. So not being vocal is the last thing that we want from a beta tester. We want beta testers to come. We want them to take notes. We want them to be organized. We want them to have reports, summaries, all the above, so that we can best take on issues and balance requests, whatever. We can iron things out the best we can before any actual release to the public happens. Because this this release is probably going to be our biggest release yet, as far as content and hype and marketing. So we really just need the help if we're going to pull this off. There's a lot of things that are going to change still, but we need solid feedback if we're going to change things effectively. One thing I would ask if you could show something while we're on the game is could you use Toggle Foggle War and check out Carthage? Just zoom in
Uh,
on Carthage. I want to highlight some of Xe's work. Xe has been hard at work doing settlement models and port models, and
hmm.
I think he spent probably the most time on Carthage, the Carthaginian culture, whether it be the city models or the port models. You can see we have some really nice Phoenician style models here, thanks to Lusitanio and Trarco for supplying that. These are just really cool. It gives Carthage flavor. We haven't even remastered yet, but it's definitely giving flavor, and we're so excited. And as you can see, you're kind of zooming around the map, and you can see all kinds of things going on. Yeah, we've done Romans, we've done Roman ports and city models, we've done Greek ports and city models. If you want to go up into the Illyrians, we've redone the Illyrians again as far as their ports and their city models. They're a lot more Celtic based now, but subject to change. The Southern Illyrians were a little bit more Hellenistic, where the Northern Illyrians were Celtic, but they have a lot more uh, unique variances about them. And the ports are smaller,
Yeah.
so they don't take up huge chunks. Like right there, right in front of you, right smack dab in the middle. You don't see the city and the port conflicting with each other like they used to all the time. Um, the port kind of stands off on its own a little bit. It's a little bit smaller. It's streamlined. So I gotta really give a big shout out to Xe for doing that. He's put a lot of work in it, and he's not done yet. But yeah, just wanted to kind of highlight that before we move on. But
Yeah, cool.
uh, we have a lot to unpack in this one. But I just wanted Red to show off some of his Pergamon campaign. Not too detailed, nothing too crazy. Economy is far from being totally balanced. Trade resources are far from being overhauled, and buildings are far from being finished. Units are far from being fully fleshed out as far as costs and tiers. But this is just kind of where we're at, and just want everybody that sees this to know that we're both developer and beta tester hard at work here.
Yeah, definitely. And can I just say before the comments explode that you have just triggered the whole of the Balkans there? Uh, talking about the Illyrians. So yeah,
Now
but
they can talk to Jodl and Marcelos and Jorloff, our
yeah,
historians. I'm just the mouthpiece.
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with anything you've said there, mate. Yeah. um, but anyway, no, that's a little joke, guys. So actually, don't go crazy in the comments.
Yeah, we're joking.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I have had a fantastic time, and all of the work, as you can see, the reason why we wanted to show this is just to show that the work that we talked about is live and in a beta version of the game, and it's being tested as we're talking about it by plenty of dedicated people and being worked on all of the time with lots of feedback, all that sort of thing. So yeah, I just thought it was cool to show this off and to show some of the work that's been done actually live in game as well, which is really cool. But we're probably going to switch across now to some pictures ready for you guys. So plenty more stuff heading your way. Stay tuned. Well, here we are, guys, with some more images once again, and we have a lovely map image again. Ahowl, what is this showing?
Just showing kind of an update as to where we were before. Um, I guess we should have had the older one, but it's okay. You notice Arabia's changed a little bit. It's not so janky as it was the first time. We've added also a good amount of factions to the map. We maxed out the factions to 255, but as we did that, we found out that we broke the game again. So basically, long story short, the main issue was if you were to go into the diplomatic standing menu, the game would automatically crash.
Yeah.
And after a lot of testing, I figured out that you could do 239 factions total without crashing the map by going to diplomatic standing. But I've also noticed that since we did the initial beta with 255 and then we re-uploaded the beta with 239, the overall stability of the campaign has also improved. So we've sent that to Farrell. Um, they're aware of it. We'll see what happens. There's no guarantee that anything is going to be fixed. And so for what we're going to do at RAS is we are going to talk internally about what our best 239 factions are and what our worst 16 additional factions are. So if a patch comes out one day from Farrell and we can do 255 without issues, we'll add those 16 back in. However, at this point, we need to determine what's the best 239. So kind of like the regions, but to a lesser scale as far as amount. We overshot the limit, the true limit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And we've found new issues, and so we needed to scale it back until the issues were gone. And now we have to kind of really determine, okay, how many factions, like how out of the 255, what are the best 239 that we can do? So that's going to be ongoing. But as you can see here, we have a lot more factions added to the actual map. Like you see, I won't say specifically where, but you can just probably guess a few different areas that there's some factions. But none of this is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Um, the next video next month might have a little bit of a different look. So also keep in mind, guys, we're working hard on the official map. The official map is not been seen. It is not to be seen. It is a work in progress. What I can say is that the majority of the eastern part of the map has been cut, as well as Egypt and Ethiopia. We are now focusing more on the Mediterranean. And yeah, that's just a work in progress. But this prototype map has been serving us well, and I'm very proud of it.
Yep, and I just want to say that no one commented the right answers for these two factions last time. I don't even think anyone tried. So, come on, guys, give us your best guess, and maybe this one down here as well. This light blue in the corner.
Yeah, the
But
corner factions.
yeah, that they're hug boxing, bro. That's cheating. So, but no, yeah, it's great, and it's great to see as you go through the campaign, like the map filling up. And I tell you, like when I've been playing the beta, like there's multiple multiple turns where like multiple factions die. So there is a lot of action going on the map, and you get
Front
like.
of back.
Yeah, they get like 5 pop-ups saying this faction died, this faction died, this faction died, this faction died. But yeah,
Yeah, it's quite crazy. It's really wild, and it's fun. We don't know if that's going to last as far as factions dying at a high clip, but it's not so much a bad thing either. It's just kind of the tenacity of total war, and the more factions there are next to each other, the quicker factions are going to die. So this just kind of comes with the territory, but it's definitely a new way to experience Rome Total War, and it's been really refreshing working on it.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, I just wanted to say that of course Rome will be on the top of the chopping block list. So yeah, all you Rome stands, I'm sorry, Rome's going first. Rome's gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
There'll be Etruscans Total War soon.
yeah, you don't need to do the Rome update if Rome doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, we can just shoot to Carthage.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this.
Yeah, so as you can see here, this is from one of our beta testers. I believe it's Dano Dagon. He tested, I believe, till 220 BC. And this is where it is. I actually don't even know who he's playing as here, which is good. Um, but I don't think he's playing as a Roman faction because he was commenting on the Roman factions. But look at the red Romans are doing red Roman things, um, which was always the case. But I think the highlight here is that the green Romans have effectively kind of gone into Greece, but mainly they've gone into the Balkans. But that, honestly, that's fine. We were having such a hard time getting the green Romans to cross over, and they were getting stuck. So seeing them expand at that clip is amazing. And then the biggest one, the blue Romans have made landfall
And that
into
is
Africa.
Carthage, I believe, isn't it? Or is it the one below that?
That's Carthage right below it, I believe.
Ah, okay.
I
So
think
not.
that's Utica that the blue Romans took. But I mean, even so, just seeing them expand in that way. I mean, again, XC has been great when it comes to AI expansion as far as like what works, what doesn't work. And then just kind of me and him both tinkering with the Romans has been made a significant change from beta 1 to beta 2. I think our goals are how do we get green Romans to go a little bit more south and kind of like mess around with the Greeks more than they do the poorer Illyrians and Thracians. How do we get the blue Romans to maybe expand quicker? But that might be too hard. The fact that they're even expanding at all is a win. And then how do we get the red Romans to maybe focus a little bit more west and a little bit less east?
Mm.
So we're still working on this, but this is something that we've really been honing in on as far as the Roman expansion.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, if you've played any of the previous versions with unified Rome, 220 BC, Rome would not be this big. Like, trust me.
No, they'd
Rome would,
barely be Italy, and Syracuse would have taken half of
yeah,
outside.
or maybe like best case scenario, Rome would have taken Massalia and Sicily, and that would be it. Like, they probably wouldn't have done much else, and that's like them doing well. So, I think from a player's perspective, it's great to see a very strong Romans. And I think we did get a couple of comments worrying about the fact that if the Romans get really powerful in the game, say you're playing the Gauls in the north, like the Belgae or something like that, then you're going to be fighting a lot of Roman armies. I mean, first of all, I think it's pretty realistic that that would happen. And second of all, with the AOR system and the government system, those Roman armies are not just going to be copy-paste Hastati like every time. They're going to have a lot of unit variability, a lot of variation. Now, you are going to still fight a lot of Roman troops, which is, again, realistic, but there is going to be variability there with the AOR system, which I think works really well. So all of you guys that are worried that, the Romans getting big is just going to mean that you're just going to be fighting 100 stacks of Hastati, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. So yeah, I think it's really good to see a strong Romans anyway, unless you are playing as Taras or or Carthage. But I think
Yeah,
it's great.
absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And look, if you look on the map, there's other factions that are just as powerful. I mean, that kind of a grayish blue Gallic faction is huge. Carthage is gigantic. The Seleucids are always going to be the Seleucids. So I mean, it's total war. As you get
Yeah.
deeper into the game, whoever your main enemies are end up being stack upon stack. So it's just, and obviously we're going to try to make that as best of a gameplay experience as possible, but uh, you can only change the way the game plays so much in that
Yeah.
regard.
Exactly. So here we are with the Greek officers, guys, and as you can see, a lot of work has gone into these Greek officers. A big shout out to Balbor and all the art team again for some of this awesome work. And do you want to speak about these Greek officers then, Ahal?
Yeah, this has been a giant work in progress for a while now. It's kind of taken a whole team to get on them. It's Balbor doing a lot of the assembly, but Tone, when Tone was very busy with the mod, he did a lot of the groundwork, especially for the textures. But El Santo Padre, one of our modelers, has done an amazing job with that muscled curious, and that's where Balbor is kind of showing it off right there.
Yeah.
Different variants, and like honestly, a lot of the generals and captains. That we'll be having are going to be a lot of them are going to be based on some of our elite units. But what it is just the colors are going to be more colorful. The motifs are going to be a little bit more pronounced, and the capage and all the flair that we can put on them without making them look too ridiculous. That's kind of how our generals and captains are going to go. And so it's really nice to see them coming together like this. I have yet to start implementing them into the campaign as of today, but that's actually going to be one of my biggest tasks coming up here for the next beta. And so by this time next month, when we're doing our beta update, I would hope to show off some of these in the beta, fighting and doing speeches and whatnot. But those are some Thracians right there. So
Yeah.
Thracians have been most recent, as you can tell by the date, 113. Absolutely amazing. There's a lot of artifacts that have been found in Thrace with just like really cool helmets and armor and greaves and whatnot. So being able to put these together, these officers and whatnot, It's just going to really bring life. Like no more of the flat-faced officers that we've been accustomed to from Rome Total War. RS2, we're now going to get our own remastered officers. And I know they've been done last, but better last than not at all.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think they look amazing. It's going to be really cool to see them on the battlefield waving their banners around, as you can see. So,
Hmm.
yeah, really, really cool. On to the Cataphracts, then, I believe, or do we want to go on to the new units?
Cataphracts are fun. This is another thing that's just kind of been worked on, put aside, worked on, put aside. Thankfully for Tone, I was able to get this to him. We have a modeler named Ace Snake who did the original design for this Cataphract horse model. And the historians will tell you that the Seleucid Cataphracts did not have the full-on horse armor
Mm,
like they do in vanilla. They had a half horse armor with also armor and plumage on the head. And so we've been wanting to make this for quite some time now, and it's just kind of been on the lower end of the priority list. But I kind of was able to find Balbor had the model from Ace Snake, and Ace Snake hasn't been active in a while. I didn't want to forget about it, but it needed some work done as far as bones and vertices and texturing, and that's what Tone has been working on. So again, hopefully by next beta we can actually show this in game or
yeah.
one of your unit preview videos. But I believe the Cappadocian Cataphracts will also be using the model.
Mm.
So excited for that.
Well, the Cappadocian cavalry already has like sort of armor similar to this, which looks really cool, in my
Right, and
opinion, anyway.
I think that's going to be updated as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And then, of course, we have a lot of the thumbnails for a lot of the new units, the Cappadocians, the Silesians, Paphlagonians, and then sort of more AOR, Scindians, that sort of thing. Down here. Obviously, these will all be shown off in their own videos, guys, so don't worry about that, but we just wanted to show you guys some of the work that's gone into and some of the units you might expect for some of these factions like the Silesians, which I know is a fan favourite. Cappadocians is one person's favourite, and that's it. Paphlagonians is everyone's favourite to watch me play, but not my
Yeah,
favourite to play. But yeah, no, really cool. Lots of work going on with the units behind the scenes, guys, as we say, and a lot of these units have been done for a while, so don't worry. Roman units are being worked on, guys, so don't worry about that.
we are
Um,
very close to working on the Roman units. We really need to finish those officers out. We have a few more leftover units that need to be made. So we're really just trying to, before we go on to the Romans and Italics, just make sure we have everything done from the previous factions. We don't really want leftovers to
mm,
have to kind of drag ourselves back into doing. I mean, obviously, the odd unit or two are going to pop up every now and then in discussion,
yeah.
but bulk work is just about finished. The Bosporans are done. The Cappadocians are done, which includes Pontus. The Silesians are done. The Silesians are actually going to be on the map here soon, so that'll be good. They won't be an emergent anymore.
Mm.
And then the Paphlagonians are done. And then as you can see, we have a lot of Bosporan AOR. We have Scindians. We have Maeotians. We have Taurians. And then a couple other just random AOR units like Pamphylians. Pontic Pentapolis is going to get a new hoplite and the Messembrian hoplites. And then we have a couple Thracian units to kind of make the Thracians a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I mean, just a lot of some of them random, some of them pre-planned, and the most famous one here is the Cappadocian Temple Servant.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's taking the Pajama Warriors to a new level. They are armed with only clubs. They have little nightcaps on, and they have little gowns and pants, and they're thrown into the battle, and um, they are going to be the most elite unit in the mod. Just
Oh,
kidding.
I can't wait to play with them. I'm not gonna lie. Temple servants only
Them,
challenge.
them versus the Cyanoid Clubmen will be an interesting.
Huge battle, huge battle. Everyone is awaiting it.
That's
Fantastic.
it. That's it for the units right now. I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek, like some of the units that have been made. So shout out for Balbor for the units. Shout out to Mosca Flocka for the unit cards.
Yeah, definitely. Looks really, really good. And I have seen some of these units on the battlefields, guys, in my beta testing, and I can say they look fantastic. So stay tuned for that update video whenever it comes. It's going to be a while, but it will come at some point, so don't worry about that. So now we're on to buildings, which is what we talked about a little bit when we were on the map. Trade buildings. So as you can see here, we have one related to is that the wild animals resource?
I think hides.
Yeah, hides resource, sorry, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, see, here's the weird thing is I'm actually not too heavily involved when it comes to the buildings and the resources. As you can see, Xe is the one who has done a lot of work here with building the UI. But Xe, we have him. We have Biggest Dickus, play on words with his username from a movie that most of you know. And then we have Lucitanio, and the three of them have pretty much constructed or reconstructed the building system as far as economic uh, capabilities are concerned. So from farming to fishing to trade goods, and mining, they've redone it all. And we have about 41 new trade resources, or 41 total trade resources on the map currently that are being tested. Um, I'm sure you've gotten a glimpse at a few of them. And then each one has a building tree attached to it. But here's the key, here's the catch is you can't just build all these trees in the same um, in settlement. You have to pick and choose what you want to emphasize the settlement to focus on. Some of these are going to have great capabilities, some of them not so much. That's what we're balancing on right now. We want to make sure that each has pros and cons, makes it so depending on where you are, you can choose which one you want to focus on. And I think one of the things that's going to be most challenging to overcome is players are really smart and they're going to figure out what works and what doesn't. And the last thing they want is to have 5 of these buildings never built, and then 5 of these buildings always being built. That is the main thing that we want to work on. So while we are speaking actually right now, we have a huge spreadsheet that's being filled out by a bunch of new members and current members. But they're going through the current map, the prototype map, and they're just listing down every region, all the resources that are currently in them, and then all the fertilities that are in them as well. And then from there, historians and other researchers are going to go through and on the same sheet list what should be there according to data, sources, and whatnot. And so what we hope to get is we hope to bring about a very vibrant live map with historically accurate, scientifically accurate trade goods, fertilities, economies, and hopefully one day even climates to help affect the way the game is played.
Fantastic. And as I've said before, like with my experience playing with this system, obviously it's being balanced as we're playing it, but it just allows so much more sort of variation between settlements and allows you to sort of choose your path for the settlement, like tannery, leather armor, whether you want to go for that. Maybe the settlement also has silk or mines or something like that, and you've got to choose where do you want to focus your energy. So yeah, it's been a really fun system to use so far, and I think it's only going to get better, which is fantastic. But yeah, I think that's everything we want to cover apart from what is going to be worked on for the next month or so, shall we say.
So I think a lot of what we have shown today is still in progress. So I think the next beta is going to be a lot of what we've seen here today. But I can say that it'll be a little bit of a different video because we're going to actually show some of these things in game a little bit better. But I would say a lot of balance work, especially a lot of cut work on the main map. Ironing out our final factions, maybe once we finally get our final factions figured out, we could eventually do a final faction reveal, which will be fun. There's one more. There's one more image to show.
So here we are before we finish, guys. One final little sneak peek for you, and it is the new Italic Factions, all of the beautifully made faction icons for them. Now, Ahowl, it's up to you whether you want to reveal any or not, but go ahead.
I will reveal one, but the one that is to be revealed you're gonna have to guess which faction logo it is, but it's the Mamertines. And those who are astute will be able to figure out who that is. And there's hints in this actual video of who the Mamertines are if you've been paying attention.
Mm.
But yes, these are our 9 Italic factions that have been developed. Naked Spur has worked very hard at getting all of these put together, and then thanks to Jodl, he's our Italic expert on helping him with the research for the symbols and colors and all of that. So yeah, we're really excited. We're glad to have them. This has been, I love Italics myself, so I'm really excited. Like these alongside the Romans, I mean, are gonna really just make it so cool in that area of the map to play in. And yeah, before we left off today, I really wanted you guys to see this. Just for the next beta and the next video, honestly, who knows? It could be a whole range of things. It could be a whole lot of nothing. It could just be a simple update video. I think beta 1 and beta 2 are probably going to have the most content right away. It really just depends on what we get done and what we accomplish, and who knows, maybe we run into another issue that forces another huge change. You never know. That's the whole beauty of modding, is you can have a plan ahead of what you want to do, but reality will usually say something otherwise. And so this time next month we'll have another one out. Could be less of a video, could be more of a video, but what we can tell you is we're working very hard. We're very excited, and I hope you guys can appreciate all the work that we're doing. And that when this release finally does come out, I hope you guys are really blown away and have a really amazing time. Not only bringing back the Rome Total War nostalgia that we all crave from way back when, but a new type of feel where it feels almost like a new game. We really are hoping to kind of strike that balance.
Yeah, fantastic. And the work is continuing, guys. If you do want to support the mod team, you can join the Discord down below. If you have any particularly skills in modding, they can always do with more members. And if you want to be a beta tester, that link is down there below. But hopefully you can see that work is going on at rather a good pace at the moment. But obviously there's no release date yet for the mod. But fantastic. That's been another great update video with plenty of sneak previews for you guys. So hopefully you have all enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me, Ahowl, once again.
Thank you so much for having me, and just looking forward to more videos with you, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. And we look forward, guys, to seeing you on the next one in a month. In the meantime, do check out, there's plenty of RAS content on the channel, including last updates, RAS weekends, and of course, plenty of challenge videos and campaigns. My personal favorite, that's going to be controversial, is the Seleucid campaign on 0.5. So if you do get a chance to check that out, do check that out down below. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, as always, and I will see you all again on the next video.